Hi, this is Shakira.
And this is Lia,
We're cooking up a great conversation.
starting with a cup of insights,
Add a tablespoon of fun.
a slice of drama,
Drama. A pinch of salt.
para may konting alat, and lots of pepe.
Siyempre, may anghang.
Welcome to Salt and Pepe Podcast.
Hello, welcome back to Salt and Pepe Podcast. This is Shakira season.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Lia and I'd like to say hello, love again. Ay, hello Lia. Ikaw pala. Meron pang
Hello, love again. Kasi
Over.
yan ang nagaganap kasi ngayong syempre up to date naman tayo sa mga pangyayari.
Yun
At saka,
naman.
yes, pinanood ko siya.
So,
Diba?
pero
Hindi.
prior to that, background, bakit mo pinanood?
So, meron kaming friend na gusto niyang panoorin dito kaso wala siyang kasama manood. Yung girlfriend niya nasa East Coast. Tapos, papanoorin ng girlfriend niya, siya wala siyang kasama dito. So, inaya niya kami. So, ako syempre first reaction ko parang no.
Yes.
Kasi basta, parang that won't surprise you na yun yung reaction. Kasi ako, no, ba't ako kagastos sa ganyan? Although $5 lang kasi Monday is discount day. So, sulit talaga, di ba?
Yes,
You know,
we have
so-
that. Happy Tuesdays kami.
So, si Ross naman, sabi niya, kawawa naman, walang kasama. Sige, ako na lang yung sasama. Tapos yun pala, may homework pa. Kailangan panoorin yung Hello, Love, Goodbye from 2018 ba yun? Or 2019? Tapos sabi ko, pinagtrabaho pa kami. Binigyan pa kami ng homework. So, syempre, pinanood namin, no? Para kasi sabi, mas maganda daw, makaka-follow ka dun sa Hello, Love Again kung pinanood mo yung Hello, Love, Goodbye. So, syempre, nagka-crash course ako sa mga artista.
Oh, even the
Hindi ko kilala.
artista. Yes, you
Kasi
don't
syempre
know
hindi ko
them.
kilala kasi mga bata naman yan, di ba?
Super,
After
super
na yan,
bata.
no, nung umalis na ako, so hindi naman ako, nagki-keep tabs on Philippine cinema. Huwag niyo naman akong tawaging elitista. Hindi lang talaga kasi syempre, hindi naman naiintindihan ng asawa ko yun kung walang subtitles. Tapos, hindi lang namin siya talaga ginagawa. Maybe siguro kasi in general, hindi naman din ako rom-com fan. Lalo na kung Tagalog movie. Kasi minsan, sorry, pero naiinis talaga ako minsan sa script or pagka medyo sexist, 'di ba? Tapos medyo parang, basta, medyo predictable. So, hindi kami masyadong exposed. But for a friend, pinanood talaga namin yung two movies.
So nice.
The
Yan ang
last one.
friend.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Yung pinanood
Yes.
namin kagabi. Ikaw, anong reaction mo ba?
Well, kasi when we watch naman talaga here, like, diba, my wife Karen really likes that. And ako naman, it's really like a refresh. Sometimes kasi it's nice to hear lang Tagalog, right? You're watching, you just like watch Filipino. But ako talaga, namimili talaga ako. I really choose what I watch also. I don't just watch. Kasi nga, syempre, like you, ayoko na ng same plot. But in fairness naman dito si Direk, she's also the director of One More Chance, which you might watch. Anyway, so, the first one I watched, and I liked the plot. Because yung ending, gusto ko yung ganun eh. A change na, hindi na sila nagkatuluyan. It's like goodbye.
Right.
Talagang
Hindi.
it's a goodbye, diba?
Oh.
It's not like a typical Filipino movie. So, I enjoyed it. So, na-curious naman tuloy ako dito sa next plot, which was, I liked it better than the first one actually. Kasi ang galing din ng scriptwriters na timing may COVID. And it was really nice to go around that, oops, sorry. For those who haven't watched it, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, wala pa naman tayong binabanggit. Pero kung ayaw niyong marinig yung plot ng Hello, Love Again, skip nyo na mga 10 minutes. Ganyan.
Yes, 5 minutes. So yun na. Anyway, just to put that, since we're gonna say may COVID plot, so nagustuhan ko naman siya. Kasi nga, it was up to date. And in fairness naman sa acting ni Catherine, kasi ang daming stories ni Catherine, she just actually, I'll make chika, she just actually broke up with her long-time actor boyfriend. which really long time, and they're really a couple. Talagang kilalang movie couple talaga sila, and they broke up kasi nga, of course, si lalaki was cheating on her talaga regularly, and parang she just got fed up. Kasi naman they started really young. So talagang their careers were really in that love team.
I think ito yata yung nag-break recently, di ba? Yung parang really big breakup.
Really
Pero,
big breakup. So siya yun. So talaga you can feel, I guess, the emotions dun sa...
relate talaga siya sa really bad heartbreak at saka
Yes,
yung
and-
parang naloko factor, ganyan. Spoiler alert nga, pero
Pero
yan.
yes, kasi nga, yun nga, I like how she acted. Talaga yung iyak, doon ako actually naiyak. Nung sabi ko, hindi ako iyak dito. But
Oo.
when she cried, I'm like, oh my gosh, ang
Ako
galing.
talaga, naiyak talaga. At saan tinatago ko po kasi baka tuksuhin ako ng asawa ko. And I actually like analyze kung bakit ba ako naiiyak. So,
Kasi-
aside from magaling nga yung acting niya, pero kasi sobrang relate kasi ako dun sa pagiging OFW at saka pagiging abroad. I just feel like I don't know if I'm wrong in saying this, na parang iba, hindi ka talaga makaka-relate dun sa experience na yun unless nag-work ka sa ibang bansa, na you really feel like you're so alone. Kahit na hindi ka alone, na pinagdadaanan yun, you just feel so removed from everyone. Tapos feeling mo talaga, wala kang ibang aasahan, right? For me, even if I had a partner, yung struggle, it was really just mine kasi hindi naman niya talaga naiintindihan kung ano ibig sabihin nung i-uproot mo yung sarili mo. Tapos, you have to rely on everything you know and what you don't know. Parang there's so much going on, di ba? As parang yung whole experience nung character nga ni Joy from the both movies na talagang sagad sa buto talaga yung pagtatrabaho mo. And it's really like that for the first few years unless sobrang privileged ka na parang you have to really start from the bottom bago ka umasenso. And there's always just this feeling that you're hanging by a thread. Parang you're one disaster. Yung parang you're one wrong move away from disaster. Mapagtripan ka or parang may
yes.
magsumbong sa'yo, meron
Yes.
someone gives you trouble or parang mapagbintangan ka lang ng kung ano, parang masisira ka agad yung buhay mo. So everything is so fragile. Kaya yung isang scene dun sa first movie na yung akala niya nahuli na siya ng police. 'Di ba? Yung parang masisira talaga yung buhay mo. Ganun yung feeling mo. Kaya nung parang umiyak talaga siya kasi parang gumuguho yung mundo niya. Tapos lahat ng pinagdaanan niya, parang naramdaman niya lahat na parang para saan ba to or whatever. Right? Parang ramdam na ramdam ko talaga yon na that time na wala talaga akong maaasahan and nobody knows this struggle. Kahit ikwento mo siya doon sa mga nasa Philippines, sasabihin lang nila, nasa abroad ka na nga, ano pa yung nirereklamo mo. Right? So, for that, iyak talaga ako and parang, oh, maganda nga yung script and yung acting was really good. It's really different. Right?
Yeah.
Different. Like,
That's a
susubaybayan ko ba yung next movie? I'm not sure, but I think it could have been much worse. It exceeded my expectations,
Oh, nice.
even though my expectations were quite low kasi ayoko din naman na ma-disappoint. So those were the good parts. Yung ayokong part, parang feeling ko kasi parang it's still the same old parang comedic formula pa rin ng ginagamit nila na making fun of yung matataba, yung mga unattractive people. Parang the same gimmick na wala na bang ibang source of humor in 2024? Di ba? Parang ang dami na kasing ways na mag-entertain ka without parang ang daming sidekick na mga patawa lang. Yun yung factor. Parang wala silang ibang personality or needs or whatever. Parang ano lang sila talaga, comic factor.
Yes.
When in fact, you can make them all have personalities. Diba sabi nga nila yan sa pag nagsusulat ka ng fiction, they said every single character needs to have a desire. Kahit na pinaka-extra lang sila, they all have to have parang some kind of ano bang gusto nilang ma-achieve. I guess it's the success of like being an OFW. Pero sana meron silang ibang personality other than patawa. Na parang patawa lang sila dun sa main characters. Yon. Pero, you know what? This is just my very critical
Yeah.
observation. We watched it in a cinema na talagang fully, packed talaga siya, puro
Oh,
Pinoy.
nice!
Right? So, talagang yung iba magkahiwalay sila ng seat kasi hindi sila nakabili ng ticket and time. Basta
Oh,
punong-puno
wow!
talaga siya tapos puro Pinoy. So, even though I had my own thoughts na parang ano ba yan, ang tsaka naman nung comedy or whatever, I was observing kung ano yung pinagtatawanan ng mga tao and kung saan sila kinikilig. And that's why I also can't blame, right, the movie makers and the script writers kasi yun nga yung mabenta. And the way movies are made and the scripts are written, it's not gonna change unless yung mga tao mag-evolve din yung taste nila. But until yun yung mabenta, you have to cater to it or else hindi magiging mabenta yung movie mo at hindi siya mapapalabas sa mainstream cinema sa US. 'Di ba?
True.
'Di ba?
But this one, yeah. But it was really, ako, aside from those nga, I enjoyed it naman talaga. Kasi ang galing eh. Kumbaga, right now, na-highlight din yung struggles in Canada. Like the
Yeah.
terms Nia,
Yeah.
everything.
Very educational, 'di ba?
Yes.
Kahit nung yung sa first, yung sa Hong Kong part,
Hong
ang
Kong.
dami nilang technical stuff na parang na-inform ka talaga na hindi nga ganun kadali. And the same yung sa Canada, hindi rin ganun kadali. And that's what I really liked about these two films is that it really highlighted yung struggles nga at saka na hindi talaga siya madali. Tapos yung pagka may kinakausap sila sa Philippines na parang pabili lang ng sapatos or parang ano ba yan, ang hassle naman or parang ganon. Yung parang ano ba, hindi nyo ever kasi ma-experience kung gaano, like, kung makahingi kasi, di ba, yung mga tao sa Philippines, parang ang dami-dami mong pera, hindi nila alam na kung ano what you have to deal with just to get that little bit of money. And yung characters, it showed that too, and what you're going to put up with because you need the money. 'Di ba? Katulad nung character change ni Ethan, right? 'Di ba nung
Yes.
umpisa, parang these jobs were beneath him. Tapos nag-evolve siya. Tapos kasi nagkaroon na siya ng needs niya na kailangan niya tuloy.
Kailangan.
He had to tolerate yung mga jobs na hindi niya gusto. So, that's good and it's a good lesson for anybody who thinks na masarap ang buhay abroad. Hindi siya
Yeah.
masarap.
Yung listahan lang ni Kathleen about the CPP, because here nga, there's a lot of taxes here eh. But it
Yeah.
goes naman talaga somewhere, right? Because educations are free for their kids. Yun yung,
Yeah.
hindi
Yung
naman,
taxes.
healthcare
Oh.
and everything. Pero ang laki talaga ng tax. But you can
Oh.
see man where it goes. Pero yun talaga, when you go to Canada, makakaltas talaga lahat yun.
Yeah.
Konti
Malaki
lang
talaga yung
talaga
tax.
mapupunta sa'yo.
Right?
Oo.
But you also
Oo.
have good benefits. Tsaka relate ako dun sa experience niya na parang na-scam siya, di ba? Tapos, fellow Pinoy. And that's a very common experience actually na kapwa mo Pinoy yun yung mangloloko sa'yo. Unfortunately, nangyayari yan. So, anyway.
Wow,
This
nice
is not the
one.
topic. This is
Yeah,
not the
nga pala.
topic of our episode.
But it's close. Actually, mapapaisip ka rin, diba? Kahit pa paano. On
Yeah,
this.
but one last thing. This is not the topic of our episode, pero kasi nga, yun yung nangyayari during this time. So we decided na isisingit namin yung aming movie review. So if you enjoyed it and you want us to talk more about movies, you know what? I'm willing to watch more Tagalog movies kung papag-uusapan namin ni Lia. Especially yung mga classic ones na hindi ko
Yes.
napanood or napanood ko, nakalimutan ko na, or some of them that I actually like. If you like us to talk about those more, we're willing to devote, portion of our episode or even like
Yes.
whatever. Just let us know.
Me too. That's nice. It's so nice that Kia you watched. Super.
You know
Timing
what?
is
In the scheme of things, it's very educational and I'm glad that I did it. Kahit na my arm had to be twisted.
See, now you might watch. Now we might have some episodes with.
True. Right? Yeah. So
Now.
unfortunately we have to move forward with our topic.
Yeah.
As you know, in the US, we're approaching Thanksgiving Day. In Canada, it already happened in October. But in both our countries, there is this thing called Thanksgiving, where the focus of this is to be grateful and give thanks for the blessings of the year or your blessings in life?
In Canada, it was in October, and then in the States, it's coming this week. So, so yun
What
nga,
do
I'm so
you do? What do
excited
you
for
do
it.
in Canada? Is it different?
It is. It's not as big as the US. I think mas we follow pa more of the US kasi nga there's still the Black Friday and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
we have also Family Day.
Yeah.
So that's in February naman. So here it's being celebrated pa rin, turkey pa rin, everything like in the US, but not as big
Not
as
as
the
big,
US that na
but
yung uuwi, like really go home and really meet up, right? So
in the US kasi, 'di ba, it's a bigger occasion than
Christmas.
Christmas
Yes.
because Thanksgiving is celebrated by all Americans, right? Um and like Christmas is only for Christians, and there is like also a significant population of the US that's not Christian. So Thanksgiving is where everyone celebrates. But we all know Thanksgiving is a celebration. I think we need to mention that the origin of Thanksgiving was not a happy occasion. Actually, this is interesting because nung una akong dumating sa States, around fall time kasi, tapos we were about to celebrate Thanksgiving. So tinanong ko tuloy si Ross, ano ba yung Thanksgiving? What is it all about? All I know, it's about, pilgrims and parang something like that. So
Ako nga
I think,
turkey lang eh.
right? Para yun lang yung alam ko, wala akong idea. So she actually put me on the phone with her cousin who explained to me na parang it's about like the first settlers, ganyan-ganyan. But it wasn't until maybe in the last 10 years na talagang I read more about it and learned na hindi pala siya masaya because the
Yeah.
way it's painted, this occasion, like it's whitewashed to say na parang, oh, we give thanks for our brand new land and the blessings of this new world and this new country on the in the view of the colonizers, pero hindi binabanggit like what happened during that time. So actually, we have to, make sure that everybody knows the real story, that when they actually came and gave thanks and actually began the celebration of Thanksgiving, it was to give thanks for their new country that they took from the Native Americans, indigenous people, and they actually like killed 700 like Native men, women, and children. And that's when they decided to celebrate and give thanks to the Lord for their new country. So it's about bloodshed. It's about colonization, and the millions of Native Americans who were killed when, the early settlers took over American land. So, not to say don't celebrate it, but always keep in mind that, this celebration, it was based on, and it like parang don't forget about the bloodshed and what the real story of the United States is all about. Yun lang.
Yes, because sometimes actually sa mga feeds ko, because here also, diba, First Nations also talagang very important to Canadian ano yun, life talaga. So if you can see, actually you can see it's also a day of remembrance for the First Nations. It's really a sad day of remembrance because of nga what Kia said. It was a day that there was bloodshed. Everybody, they died, diba? Kinuha nga yung land. It's like thinking about Magellan killing Lapu-Lapu that
Right.
way, diba? So
Right? Yeah.
it's really a sad day to think
It's a
about.
sad day. And I think only in maybe the last 10-15 years actually na binibigyang importance talaga yon. And also we're reminded that to this day, we're living on stolen land. It's not originally belonging to the white settlers. So, yon.
It's nice
But
to think about. I like that it evolved also kasi right now, before it was, now it's really giving gratitude lang
yeah.
talaga, diba? So it's nice that that's the thought, but of course it's nice to think about of what the real story is. So, what do you think about when it's Thanksgiving? So, what do you think about gratitude?
Gratitude. I really always try to keep this in mind. I think the early events of my life, I think, put me in a spot that I'm always thinking about the things that I wasn't supposed to have. I think I mentioned this before. I had a partner who passed away when I was in my early 20s. And I think at that point, talagang I was shook. Kasi I realized that some people will never have what I have, like a life, a long life, the things that I'm able to achieve. So parang after that, parang I'm always in the back of my mind. I think about people who were not blessed enough, like given the opportunities that I'm given. So I really try to be grateful and think about all the positive things that happen in my life. I remember that I'm not entitled to anything. And just keep in mind that most people are just trying to survive day to day. So parang it makes you less judgy, more understanding, and very, very grateful when you know that you are really in a place of privilege and you're really blessed. So that's what I think about when I think of gratitude, gratefulness, and thankfulness. Pero I want to know, ikaw naman, how do you feel about gratitude and what does it mean to you when you hear that word?
It means a lot to me too. Kasi nga, when there was a time nga, di ba, about mindfulness, when I started practicing that, mas na-enhance yung gratitude part. Like,
Mhm,
because if you practice mindfulness talaga, the littlest things
mhm,
mapapansin mo. And then you realize, wow, exactly, like when you wake up in the morning, yung palang, diba? It's
mhm,
already a way of thanking the universe, whoever's out there for another day. So
mhm,
sa akin yun nga, being mindfulness, uh, being that helped me with thinking or knowing the little things and appreciating the things
mhm,
I do have day to day.
mhm,
And that just makes you want to just move forward, 'di ba? Like in our past episodes, I love life, so I'm just always wanting
mhm,
to know what's going to happen next.
mhm, mhm,
And like what Kia said, you will just be appreciative of what you have,
mhm,
and you are more kind, 'di ba?
mhm,
Because it's also about knowing more than what you have kasi
mhm,
nga you know your place of privilege talaga.
mhm,
Like actually, when especially I think COVID happened na talagang a lot of people struggled, some passed
mhm,
away. Exactly,
mhm,
about life talaga. And yun yung place na talagang mapapaisip ka talaga,
mhm,
and you just, that word check your privilege talaga came out,
mhm,
and just that really
mhm,
struck me, and that's me, that puts me in my place every time na
mhm,
parang it's not happening to me, but it's happening to somebody
mhm,
else. And yun sa'kin, kaya importante sa'kin yung gratitude kasi it keeps me grounded, and
mhm,
also keeps me happy also. You know,
mhm.
the sense of happiness is also there
Yeah.
because of that.
And it's not just parang a reaction because of gratitude. There's actually a science behind it.
Wow.
Pala, right? I learned that, there's actually psychological and physiological benefits of practicing gratitude. I think lately, kasi we're starting to talk about, how harmful bad thoughts and bad energy and resentment is on your body. That's where autoimmune disorders come from, cancers, and all sorts of ailments come from negative thinking. So, on the reverse of that, we're actually learning that positive thoughts and gratefulness is actually really good for your health. It results in better mental health. You form stronger relationships. And, really good relationships are actually good for our physical health too. It's something that we neglect kasi akala natin parang sa puso lang siya and also in our minds. But it's not a lie that people in happy marriages actually live longer. Not just because you take care of each other or you're full of love, but there's also like, that feeling that you have, that you always have someone to lean on. You're not consumed by your negative thoughts. So the gratefulness part, I think it opens your mind every day. It opens you up to good experiences and you're ready to face the world, diba? Na parang, I welcome all the good experiences kasi parang ang ganda ng gising mo versus pag ang sama ng gising mo. 'Di ba? Parang the way you
Yes.
see the world, parang wala, nothing can cheer me up. Parang first of all, you're not gonna eat right. Right? You're probably not gonna exercise. You're probably gonna pick fights with people. It just
True.
digs deeper and deeper until parang napaka-miserable na nung state mo. So it was interesting to learn about the science behind gratefulness. Nararamdaman mo ba yon in your experience? Like how good it is for your well-being to express gratitude?
Yes. I always like that part. Kasi I also like science sa facts. I like it when you put in facts talaga. You like how the
Or
body
siyang
reacts.
Mayfax.
Yes.
Mayfax,
That-
handsome pod. Club.
yes, facts. I love that. Kasi it's true ang galing how it's something that reacts to your brain, diba?
Right?
With what you said actually before then, 'di ba? Parang when you're younger naman talaga, you can always compare yourself with other people 'di ba? And then I realized that na syempre if it's not happening to you, maiinis ka naman talaga, 'di ba? Parang bakit siya? Parang is she always lucky? I'm not unlucky. Parang you'll always think na parang hindi ako lucky. And then I really exactly what you said. I think it's another thing to practice. When I decided to say, you know what? I'll just be happy for everybody. It's a different feeling, 'di ba? It's not like being plastic It's being patient and not comparing yourself with others. So tipong pag nakita mo sa kanya what's happening to her is just or to that person, it's just happening to that person. Doesn't mean it won't happen to you. Parang hindi naman siya cause and effect or parang pag sa kanya positive sa'yo negative. Hindi, you have to have a different mindset. So I started that na parang pag something good is happening to that person, I would say I really am happy for that person. And I won't say na siya swerte, ako malas. Hindi na ganon. Parang just be happy for that person and just be patient and just continue what you're doing. But feeling that happiness for that other person and actually telling that person and you will see how they react It's different you will see na parang they won't expect. Some people kasi they don't expect that you'll be genuinely happy. When you're genuinely happy for another person, you will see the reaction You will see that glint if you're observant. Na parang some people, they would think na hindi naman nila, some people kasi will think, I'm happy, pero I don't expect them. They won't expect naman others to be happy for you because of the world, diba? Naman the reaction of the world. If something good is happening to you, there will be something negative always there But just saying thank you and just you will see the difference. Actually, now I just remember I had a partner before, ano talaga siya, parang yun nga, she always says thank you to, and she always, is happy for other people. Siguro nahawa rin ako. And you can see that kahit din lang sa waiters, diba? Actually, just asking the person's name. For example, they helped you, they served you, and you ask their name, what's your name again? And then, after they give your name, you say, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Kia, or thank you, Lia. Iba yung mafe-feel nila.
Right?
It's just giving that good positive vibe.
In line with what you said, yung gratefulness, when you begin your day or when constantly thinking about a lot of the things that you have in your life, you're not entitled to, na parang, shit, ang swerte ko talaga, I have this, I don't have to worry about my next meal or, not having savings. I'm actually thinking about retirement na, not just survival in this present day. Basta just being grateful for your relationships. When you know that you have so much, you stop looking at other people, 'di ba? Kasi hindi ka na nag-yearn for them kasi you have enough and what you have is enough and you are enough pagka you started with gratitude and you stop comparing yourself because yun nga sabi nila, 'di ba, comparison is the thief of joy. Parang even if you're so happy, the next person will always have something that you don't have.
Always.
And if you always focus on that, malulungkot ka talaga and you're not gonna be able to appreciate what you do have and the good things that you have, right? And in reverse, when you're grateful, it kills envy. Kasi, you know, you're enough and you want to actually, you know, share what you have. When you know that you're so blessed, you want to do good. You want other people to have the same kind of happiness,
Yes.
satisfaction, relationship, instead of trying to get what they have or resent them for what they have or undermine the reasons and parang sabihin, oh, ayun, ang dami-daming ganito, pero alam mo, sama ng ugali. Yung it's like useless stuff yung paninira,
Yes.
diba? And kasi parang you hear that all the time. That's one thing actually that's common when you're Pinoy working abroad, yung inggit, it's so toxic.
Yes.
And you know, it's just so counterproductive when everybody's just trying to make a living. So for me, I'm very, very conscious of the privilege that I was born into, that I was able to finish school without any problem in, you know, my education or finances. I was able to, you know, work, move to the US, follow my heart, really explore my potential, even in the hardest, toughest times of being a new immigrant. I was aware that not everybody will have it that good, even though I felt that I had it so bad. I knew that I was still better off than than other people, right? So, and this is a constant practice between me and my wife, is to we actually always remind each other we are so fortunate. I'm not sure, you know, I don't know a lot of other people that, you know, have the same blessings that we have. So that's, you know, and it's very important during tough times talaga, na parang you have to remember that you are really, you really have more than other people. And you know, the things that we worry about, you know, sometimes it consumes you, diba? Kasi parang ang bigat-bigat na kala mo yun na lang talaga, and you can't see past either your pain or your, you know, misfortune or itong thing that you're dealing with, and you kind of forget that the other good things that you have. So when you have a partner and you remind each other of that, I think it turns the negative into positive, right?
Yep. And just to add, diba, yung watching the movie nga, in the struggles. Kasi, ako, I was ready to clean. Kasi I watched many Tagalog movies also, so parang I'm ready to do the dirty jobs eh. Pero, again, sobrang privileged na talagang lucky. I don't know what, thank you. But I was ready, but you know, others would have more struggles. And pa rin, diba, kahit may struggles ka dito, it's not as bad as some may have had.
So on the other side of gratitude, we were talking about the positive effects of gratitude. May na-encounter ako sa mga reading ko, kasi alam mo naman parati ako nagre-research yung kung ano-ano. There's a term called toxic gratitude pala. Have you ever encountered this term?
No, it's the first
Right? I think we know that this happens, and we know we've encountered many situations, pero I've never heard na yun pala yung tawag doon. So when I cite examples, I'm sure you can identify with it. So basically, the definition of toxic gratitude is when you're feeling pressured to be thankful, you know, for something that doesn't feel right, or using gratitude to cover up resentment or dissatisfaction or sadness, you know. If you like think about that, can you think about some examples ng parang negative toxic gratitude na parang ginagamit as a weapon yung gratitude?
Yung parang pinapatahimik ka na lang to like, you know, say something when you're, you know, feeling bad or something, 'di ba? Sabihin sa'yo, pasalamat ka nga, buhay ka eh, 'di ba? Na parang when you're sad, they use that for you to just to not really distract, I guess, but to make you not really dwell on what you're feeling at the end, na parang na, yun, hindi na validate yung nararamdaman.
Yung nararamdaman mo. And it's like, I know that some people mean well, right?
Yes.
When you're sad, when you say, I had a bad day at work. And the normal reaction, the normal supportive reaction would be, oh, what happened? We want to talk about it? Or parang, that's okay, we can relax daw. Pero yung toxic gratitude, when they say, pasalamat ka nga, may trabaho ka dyan, reklamo ka ng reklamo. Parang it shuts you up, it dismisses you, and it basically makes you feel na wala kang karapatan to have negative feelings about something. Diba? And if you think, if you think about it, I think we've all encountered this
Oh,
kind of
yes.
reaction from people na parang pinaforce sa'yo yung gratitude. Parang it dismisses the fact na you can be grateful and you can also be sad about that experience. Katulad ng, okay, back to the movie, right? You can be grateful that you're in Canada and you're earning a living and you're able to support your family. But you can also be really sad, ang hirap-hirap ng buhay mo and you're always chasing yung racket, ang dami mong sinusuportahan. It doesn't mean na kung grateful ka, wala ka ng karapatan magkaroon ng bad experience, right? You
Yes,
can
I
still
remember.
be grateful for your job. You can still be grateful for your family. But you can also feel challenged by them. It doesn't mean na di ba kasi sa family, parati mong naririnig yan pasalamat ka nga, may nanay at tatay ka. When you're complaining, di ba, na, oh, I'm having a hard time, may issue kasi ako sa dad ko, we had an argument, di ba? Paka-toxic kasi nun pag naririnig ko yun, parang pasalamat ka nga, buhay pa yung tatay mo, ako yung tatay ko patay na. So, dapat intindihin mo na lang. Yung wala nang room for, first of all, walang room for your sadness. And there's also no room for accountability. Because just because you're grateful, and just because, even if you have a great relationship, everyone makes mistakes. And everyone can fall sometimes, and you bounce back and you repair relationships. Hindi mo sinasabi na parang wala ka nang pwedeng, parang wala ka nang pwedeng magawang mali just because someone's grateful or mahal ka, right?
True. I remember nga we talked about grief before, di ba? Parang came up that grief and gratitude can share the table.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Parang
So,
ganun din yun, right?
yes,
It's the same
exactly.
thing, right?
And you cannot, ako na naman di ba? For example, yun nga what you said, di ba? Sometimes, the hardship of one person, you cannot compare it to somebody else, di ba? That can be really devastating for that person.
Mhm.
And then, if you, again, compared, baka mas grabe pa yung nararamdaman ng iba compared to what they are feeling or what happened to them. But still, that is giving that person a hard time, making them feel sad. So you cannot compare the sadness of somebody to the struggles, or the struggles of one person to the struggles of another.
Right.
It's not the same.
It doesn't it doesn't make someone's pain less.
Yes.
When you think
exactly.
when you remind them that another person's pain is worse. Like, for example, my friend ka, niloko siya ng boyfriend niya, for example. And then yung pagkonsol mo, parang buti nga, niloko ka lang, boyfriend mo lang yan. Yung isang kaibigan ko, iniwan talaga siya ng asawa niya, 5 yung anak nila, wala siyang makain, ganyan-ganyan, pasalamat ka nga. It's parang, sa tingin mo ba, ngingiti na yung taong naloko? Hindi naman, di ba? Maiinis
Yes,
lang
that's
sa'yo
true.
yun, right? And it's not productive. You can also just say, I'm here, I'll hear you out. Pero kasi, we can't deal. Culturally, another cultural flaw, ba? Parang we can't deal with feelings and we can't deal with another person's pain. So, mas madali yung i-dismiss or patawa na lang. Di ba?
Yes.
Or
Yun, patawa na lang.
compare or parang, oh, count your blessings nga, or mag-pray ka na lang, yung ganon, di ba? So, right?
True.
Di
Yes.
ba?
So think
Yeah.
about, gratitude, just forcing it naman to that person.
Right.
Diba? It
Yeah.
shouldn't really just force it, diba? Gratitude should come from within din kasi. Diba?
Yeah, hindi mo kailangan ipamuka sa tao. Di ba? Parang basically, mind your own gratitude.
True.
Be grateful sa sarili mo, pero wag mong sabihin dun sa tao kung how they're supposed to think or behave or whatever, especially when they're coming to you with a sad thing.
Yes, or you can see it naman in a nicer way, 'di ba? Na parang if you really think about it, if you think deeply, di ba? You can always
Yeah.
give them questions to think
Yeah.
about,
After
not
you hear
force.
them out, siguro after you hear them out, parang hindi
Yes.
naman pang silence, di ba? So,
Yes.
I also learned another example of toxic gratitude is when you force your own self to be grateful for something that actually needs to be corrected or parang someone did something wrong to you. Parang kunyari when you say, buti nga niloko ako ng boyfriend ko kasi hindi ko na siya napangasawa at saka ganyan. Like, it's true, you dodged a bullet, right? But
But,
you're not grateful for the misfortune that happened to you kasi masakit siya I still wish na hindi nangyari sa akin. I'm glad na hindi kami nagkatuluyan, but I'm not grateful na nasaktan ako. And so when you kasi parang feeling ko kasi, I really believe that what you put out into the world is what you're gonna get in return. If you're thankful for the misfortune sa parang mabuti nga, ganito I think you're gonna get more in return. I think recognizing that experiences are bad or parang, I wish that this wasn't happening to me. It doesn't mean I'm not grateful, but that was a terrible thing to be done to me. 'Di ba? Yung hindi ka nagpapasalamat, right? So,
dahil nasaktan ka, that's
'di
hard.
ba? Maybe you're
Yes.
grateful for the experience or what it taught you, but you're not gonna wish for it to happen again. It's
True.
toxic, it attracts more of the same. And also, it's okay to call out a bad behavior. And that was wrong of you to do that. I'm glad that we didn't end up together, but I'm not grateful that you were a jerk to me, right?
Exactly, 'di ba?
Right.
Parang you're just attracting that. Exactly what you said, no? It's just like you're just attracting it na parang, sige, okay lang na magkaroon ako ng hindi okay na friends or ano, kasi I'm gonna learn from it and I should be thankful for that.
How
'Di
about
ba?
start with,
Parang
di ba, how about start
ang
with looking
labo.
for good friends, di ba? Kasi
Yes.
it removes your responsibility and your role in the things that happen to you. When you're just thankful for the bad things na parang, oh, buti nga, everyone's mean to me. How about avoid the people who are mean to you? Parang take a stand and take control of your life. Kaso kasi pagka sinasabi mo, natatanggapin ko na lang kasi I'm gonna learn from it. You remove the control that you can have over your life. You remove your ability to create boundaries. So it's something to keep in mind
Yes.
when
That's
you hear gratitude. I think when someone's trying to impose gratitude on you, diba? You know, I think like when people say, parati na sinasabi, like, pasalamat ka nga, ganyan, di ba? Pasalamat ka nga, nag-aral ka, pasalamat ka, may asawa ka, pasalamat. I remember, to may gandang experience to in high school. I remember a classmate of mine, she got wind of me being depressed or my thoughts of self-harm. And narinig lang niya yon na nag-iisip ako ng ganon. And what she decided to do to be a good friend is to write me this long letter telling me, don't be sad. Be grateful nga, meron kang kamay, meron kang paa, hindi ka disabled, hindi ka bulag, hindi ka yung parang I thought it was so absurd because I wasn't not ungrateful. I wasn't like, you're sad and you're dealing with stuff. And when someone reminds you na you shouldn't feel that way kasi may kamay ka tsaka may paa ka, right? Parang it's dismissive and parang, wow, your understanding is so far off. That doesn't even sound like help or good thoughts to me. It sounds like you're not even a good friend to me when you have to remind me of the obvious. Because, parang you're not allowed to be sad again, right?
Na-invalidate talaga yung feelings mo. Tsaka it's so nice to be grateful of the good things, 'di ba? Parang it's so hard to be grateful of the negative things that's happening in your life. Parang hindi siya, ang sad naman nun, 'di ba? You're parang grateful for the bad things that are happening to you. It's nicer that you acknowledge those things, as what Kia said, take control, 'di ba? Then after that, at the end, you be grateful now of all the good things that are coming to you.
Yeah. I think maybe the so simple rule is yun na nga, mind your own gratefulness. Don't impose it on anyone else. You know, what I learned, actually, I learned something recently, well, also when it comes to grief, you know, when someone passes away, like, especially someone who was sick, we always say, oh, at least they're not suffering anymore. But to the one who was left behind, the ones who survived, you know, that death, the relationship, or, you know, a widow, when you tell them na parang be grateful they're no longer suffering, parang it doesn't take away their sadness, di ba? Tas parang that's also parang not your place. While it's true na hindi na nagsasuffer yung isang tao, parang you don't impose any kind of emotion or reaction on the person. Because for me, I've been through grief and a death. And for me, I found one of the most hurtful things said to me when I was grieving someone's death was when they said, matagal na yon, bakit ganyan ka pa rin? Parang, I think it's time to get over it. You know, and that was very hurtful to me kasi parang you don't know the relationship and you don't know my grief. So there's no deadline. And it's not for you to say, hindi naman kita ganun kakilala, hindi naman kita ka-close. Parang kamag-anak pa niya yung nagsabi sa akin na parang it's time to move on. But hindi ka mag-move on. Bakit ako yung if I'm gonna carry this for the rest of my life, you know, it's not for anyone else to say. Although nahalo na yung grief and gratitude doon. But that's also still part of the whole picture. Because, yeah, with grief also comes gratitude. You know?
Yes, you will not know it naman, diba? If there's nothing, I mean, the sad part. And that's why sometimes you'll just be grateful because you experience the sad part, but you don't invalidate the sad part then. Because of, diba? It shouldn't overlap. Parang ganon eh, diba? There's always that balance for having grief and, gratitude at the same time.
And I totally understand it kasi nga lahat naman tayo, I don't think anybody enjoys talking about difficult things. It's not a pleasant thing. But sometimes we take it to the opposite extreme and we become dismissive because we can't deal. So parang ine-erase natin yung experience ng ibang tao because it's so hard to say, I'm here, I'll sit with you, can I do anything? I'm always here for you, I'll hear you out, I'm gonna be a friend. Just say I'm sorry for your loss. Instead of parang forcing all these things na for them to feel, diba? Parang just be a friend. Sometimes it's harder, diba, to say nothing. Kasi parang feeling mo obligated ka na to solve and fix someone's despair, right? But it's not in our power. And I think maybe because most people probably have never carried a deep sadness for a long time. So they don't know that sometimes it just lives with you. Right? So parang pinipilit mo na parang just snap out of it, maging masaya na lang, inuman na lang tayo.
Yes. And then they're parang yung forcing gratitude to heal that whatever you have. Because I guess they don't know what to say. So they're just thinking of something good that's happening and that, we always do that. Because again, in our religion, diba? About,
just
parang
pray.
Remember your blessings. That's always, diba, what they always say. Parang be thankful for the blessings.
We're always quick to snap out of it. Mahilig tayo magsabi na gas-gas na yan. Just, tama na. Nasawa na tayo. But, kasi parang ine-equate kasi yung dwelling on something with being ungrateful or not allowing the Lord's presence to heal you. Diba? Hindi naman kasi ganun. It's not mutually exclusive. I love to say not mutually exclusive. Kasi we don't make a commitment. Even if you do believe and you're very religious, you do believe in a higher being and you do have complete trust in this higher being. It's not mutually exclusive na, I have complete faith. Therefore, wala na akong karapatan makaramdam ng sadness.
Yes.
Well, what is your God for? Diba, to lean on, to share your saddest, most painful feelings, diba? So, when you're trying to dismiss yourself, parang tinatanggalan mo din ng power yung the one that you have faith in kung hindi mo kayang i-share with your, supreme being. I want to know, Leah, like what exercises do you do to practice gratefulness? I know that lately you've been practicing mindfulness and some meditation. So, do you
Yes.
have a routine that incorporates gratefulness?
So, yun nga. In the morning, it's the meditation.
Mhm,
And then it's just, for me, it's the action eh. It's
mhm,
more of action yung gratitude ko.
mhm,
So, I'm grateful for my life right now. But it's really, again, keeping yourself healthy. Every time when I meditate talaga, I focus on my breath. So feeling ko when
mhm,
I focus on my breath, that's life eh.
mhm,
Breathing is life, period. So every
mhm,
morning I do that. When I close my eyes, I really just think, inhale. As in, I'm imagining nga parang a drawing in my head that I can see the air entering my nose and exhaling. So that's my meditation. That's my way of gratitude because nga, it's more of action. And then, yun nga, keeping yourself healthy, eating well.
mhm,
I think if you are showing it nga through actions, people can see it eh. And then
mhm,
after that, I like what you said na um, when you're already in a good place, kasi madadaanan mo talaga eh. It's hard to think of that when you're at your 20s or even 30s. Alam mo yun, it's really hard to be in that good place talaga. You have to go through a lot. But when
mhm,
you're in that good place, you wanna share that.
mhm,
That's when I know that I was happy eh. Exactly what you said na
mhm,
wini-wish ko na lahat ng tao maging kasing
mhm,
saya ko.
mhm,
All the time.
mhm,
So every time that, when they turn 40, I tell them that's the best time. Kasi nga, excited the time ako.
mhm,
When they, some people might dread a lot of things. But I always tell them nga na, well, you'll find out. Hindi ko naman talaga
mhm,
ini-impose talaga. So with that, that's my practice too. So when, nagbe-birthday, practice ko lagi yon.
mhm,
Just to acknowledge stuff. It's just being thankful first. And I
mhm,
realize also, it's also a practice pala when you were younger. Kasi nga, yun din na-observe ko, some kids, it's not that they're not thankful, but
mhm,
I think it's not really practice in their
mhm,
household.
mhm,
They're not just, kasi sa amin talaga, oh, did you say thank you? Di ba? Parang when somebody gives you something, my parents or my titas, did you say thank you? It's
mhm,
always that
mhm,
question, and you always go back, thank you. I
mhm,
think it's a practice too, eh, if you're young. So
mhm,
for me, every time I get something, or even the little things, or little, when my wife cleans the house or something, I always say thank you. So it's always that practice of saying thank you. Di naman sobrang grabe, di ba? Pero you feel that eh. It should be also for me genuine. If you want to
mhm,
say thank you, you really have to feel it.
mhm, mhm,
Don't just say it because you have to.
mhm,
And yun, so it's in actions,
mhm,
uh, service people I don't know, I do that. I say
mhm,
good morning and ibang
mhm,
and then lastly at the end of the night you just think of the whole that's because that's mindfulness practice, diba? At the end of the day you have to just remember everything that happened to you that day.
mhm,
And then yun, you'll know the little things and at the end
mhm,
of the day you'll just be
mhm,
great. So it's
mhm,
just keeping positive. So
mhm.
those are my practices.
Very
How about
good
you?
practices. Parang ang lola na natin eh, may mga ganun tayong mindfulness, meditation, and whatever.
Super
Like we used to
lola.
laugh at these things.
Yes,
Bata-bata tayo, right? But
exactly.
now it's so important and it really affects your physical health. I really believe that,
Me too.
kasi dati kasi parang hindi ko iniisip yun na parang may effect yun. But I know and also I've seen so many people na get sick because yung environment nila
Oh
and yung
my, yes.
lifestyle is very toxic even though their eating habits, they exercise, they're
Yes.
good pero yung stressful life and toxic nagkakasakit talaga. But some people they do gratefulness journals or gratefulness gratitude jar, right? They put
Oh,
like
that's
everything that
nice.
they're grateful for. Tas pagka when they're sad, they look back at the things, so actually meron akong napakinggan actually na brief parang podcast portion of like Oprah was talking about nung 50th birthday niya. Her closest friends actually wrote down every like what their friendship with Oprah meant to them. And then she keeps that all in like a jar at her bedside table through the years, through like decades. Because I don't know kung anong age niya, parang magsa-70 na yata si Oprah. But
Wow.
during her worst days, she looks back and she reads all the things and all the nice thoughts, and it really like uplifts her. So sometimes you can do that for yourself with a gratitude jar. Or for me personally, in the morning, I'm always like grateful for another day. I know that nothing is the next day is not promised, and I learned this very young. The next day is not promised. Good health is not promised, so that's why I'm always trying my best to like stay healthy, because I know that it's not a given, and I'm trying to do good and be good, because I know that the life as I know it can be taken away at a moment's notice. So I really try to do my best, be kind and be good as much as I can. And I think that helps me, because there's a lot of like negative thoughts that I also like go through. So gratitude really helps me turn the negative into positive, and lately I've been doing these grounding exercises that have worked for me lately when I'm feeling overwhelmed or sad, or something happens na I'm really feeling sad. I read about this of like I think I read about it. It's in this book. It's a New York Times bestseller called I think What These Bones Know. And it's about this Asian American woman who suffered like really complex PTSD kasi in-abuse siya ng parents niya. And then she got through it and all her struggles. But one of the exercises that she was taught by her trauma therapist is to ground yourself when you're feeling overwhelmed or sad or whatever. To ground yourself and say, oh, I'm a grown up now. I have the power to get through this. I am breathing. I am happy. I have a good life. I'm going to eat a nice meal later. I had a nice meal earlier. And basically just ground yourself and remind yourself that you're okay. You're in this good place. You have supportive people around you, and you're not helpless, and you're not stuck in this suffering. I think has helped me a lot, and parang gives me the power to step out of that bad situation and get over it faster and recover faster. So that's what's helped me lately,
Galing, no?
right?
It's really about, again, at this age, it's just really knowing your body. Pero totoo yun, we just make fun of them na parang, nag-yoga, bakit ganon, diba? We just, or ba,
You know,
we meditate, diba? Parang,
right? But
when you realize,
again,
oh,
these are all a privilege, right? I don't blame
exactly.
people for thinking that way, because a lot of people don't get this chance to actually say, I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to change the course of my life. I'm going to be grateful. Most people are just stuck in the struggle. So, of course, they think of it that way. But for us that we have the opportunity to do this, like, I'm not going to miss out, because it helps me and it helps the people around me. So I'm going to take advantage,
Totoo. Diba?
right? But speaking of
Galing.
gratitude, thank you
Yes.
for joining us
Yes,
today.
I was gonna say that another good episode, something to think about talaga, diba? When you get older, your mind, your body really changes, and ang every day, as you said, it's not promised, diba? Na
Mhm.
at this age, you'll see a lot of people passing away, and then you just
Mhm.
yun talaga moments of thoughts talaga. That's like a moment that will make me
Right?
think, and then you'll just say, okay, I really have to take care of myself,
Mhm. Mhm.
and just be thankful that you are still here. But at this point,
Right?
you don't know anymore, especially at this
You just
age.
try your best. This is such a salt and pepper topic talaga. But, it's
Yes.
something that we do have to deal with. And we just maximize our experience, like, and also our health the best way we can, so that we know that we did try our best, right? You can't, it's still
True.
not promised, but to know that you tried, and to know that you were grateful, to know that you were good as much as you could, right? I think that's all we can hope for. And also, we need to remember that home is in the heart. Yun ba yung
What?
sabi ni
Me?
Joy.
Yes, sabi ni Joy. Wow, I'm so happy you remembered.
Sabi ko
Yes.
kasi sabi ko, I need to remember that because I need to be able to say something from the movie.
But it's yeah, so if those who haven't seen it, sorry kung may spoiler ng konti, but it's a good movie. You have to see it. We didn't, marami pang iba doon. We didn't really spoil everything.
It's still
And
worth
again,
watching.
yes, and please, if you want us to see another Kia, baka napanood ko na yon. If you want Kia to see another movie, make sure it's a nice one naman para, it's worthwhile talking about. And
Right.
again, yes, this has been another episode of Salt and Pepe Podcast.
We
Be
will see you.
thankful.
Be
Yes,
thankful,
happy
be
Thanksgiving to
grateful.
those in the
Happy
US and everyone.
Thanksgiving. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for letting us spice up your day.
Keep on listening to Salt and Pepe Podcast.
Konting alat
Konting anghang.
and Pepe all around.
This has been Lia.
And Shakira.
See you next time.